Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pride Adventure podcast, where we dive into bold journeys, real connections, and the incredible LGBTQ plus community. Today's guest is someone you've probably seen lighting up your Instagram feed. We have Daniel Cooley of Best Man Matchmaking. He's the energy, the charm, and the face of Best Man. Daniel brings his unique sense of humor, style, and heart into everything he touches. You see his Instagram, it's amazing. And that's why we've teamed up with Daniel for something really exciting.
Hi, thank you for that intro. That is
Yeah,
so
for
sweet.
sure. We're going to talk about Daniel. We're going to talk about Best Man. We're going to get into all of that stuff. But I do want to announce that we are teaming up at Pride Adventures and Best Man Matchmaking. And Daniel Cooley is the host. And we're going to be hosting a gay singles trip to the islands of Thailand, Koh Samui, White Lotus vibe in October 2025. And it's happening. That's just 6 months away. So we're going to talk about some of that. I probably should mention this is just only about 24 hours after the earthquake that just happened in Myanmar, which affected Bangkok. I heard from one of my tour guides when we were there last that they're okay. They're shaken up. It's sad of the loss of life. It always is. Communities like Bangkok, like Thailand, they are very resilient people. They will bounce back. Tourism is very important to them. So it is important to still go and support these countries and people. So we're going forward with the trip. We're really looking forward to it. And I would love to, unless Daniel wants to say something now, I'd love to just jump in. What do you think, Daniel?
It's gonna be a
Awesome.
blast.
So tell me something about yourself. How did you first get involved in Best Man Matchmaking and maybe a little history of how it happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Funnily enough, people used to call me the Divine Connector, and I was the vibe matchmaker. So I'd base matches on vibes, and I helped start a nonprofit for HIV and AIDS. And it grew from a few hundred guys to a few thousand. And within that group, we had like events and really fun activities. What you do as far as like California Gay Adventures, we would go, except we didn't do full on camping or full on like trips. We would beach days and potlucks and all kinds of fun things. And we'd also help with healthcare and stuff like that. So people would stay adherent to their meds
So
and
you're
whatnot.
bringing a like-minded community together.
Yeah, exactly. And it was gay, bi, queer, trans men mostly. That was the majority of the group. And a lot of them were single because they had been searching for other guys that were also, at the time, it was a group of mostly positive guys. And I was an ally, but they just knew me. They felt really comfortable around me. And I knew everybody in the group. So they'd be like, "Who do you know in the group that's single, Daniel?" And I'd be like, "I think I know somebody that you'd vibe with." You know
So
what
you're
I
setting
mean?
people up.
Exactly. So that was the natural way I started falling into it. But then I got into real estate after that, and my clients are like a lot of gay men as well, because that's my network. Like I know a lot of gay men, a lot of gay, bi, queer guys, and they'd be like, "Daniel, I got this beautiful house. Do you know anybody that I could share it with?" It came around full circle again, and I'm like, okay, there's something here. What is the universe trying to tell me? I'm always looking for signs. I'm always seeing 1111, 444, all those things. Like, I'm
Right.
really into that stuff. And I just felt like this strong connection to this. And I remember being on Patty Stanger's show, Millionaire Matchmaker, many years ago. And I thought, oh God, that looks so fun. I wonder if I could ever do something like be a matchmaker. Like,
And
was
this
that
was before the organization that you were in, right? You were on this TV show as a
as
guest,
a
or I guess it
date?
was a reality show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I was a date with Andrew Christian on the show, the
That's
underwear
awesome.
designer. And he chose me as his main date. It was so fun.
Now you become the face. When I'm looking at Best Man Matchmaking, you're promoting the events, you're promoting the socials, you're doing all of that. I know there's others involved, absolutely.
Hey.
But what got you involved with actually Best Man Matchmaking and how did you get there?
Yeah, so that part is really cool too. I reached out to a guy that I knew he had actually matched me a couple times. He was the gay matchmaker I knew in LA, and I've been to his office before, and his name is Glenn Mason, and he's a chef and a dating coach, but he basically told me about what it was all about and what it was like. Anyways, Glenn Mason, he introduced me to somebody. This guy has been in matchmaking for 5 years, professionally, worked with all the celebrity matchmakers, and he just started his own gay matchmaking company. And I think you should talk to him. And so I talked to him. His name's Anthony Canapi, and he founded Best Man Matchmaking. And we started in his database. We call it the database, which
It's a great service that you offer. I can only imagine from that perspective that the like-minded people coming together, people that are trying to find different connection, whether it's through the organization that you were working with before and now into the actual matchmaking, people maybe that are trying to go out on dates, but not knowing exactly next steps. Maybe they're stuck in the apps and stuff like that. And they can come to a company like yours that gives opportunities to meet other people. What are some of the opportunities that you offer your clients to meet others?
so many. A lot of people, funnily enough, they just think I do singles mixers and events. They're like, "You're the singles mixers and events guy, right?" And I'm like, yes. I have clients that I specifically go out and vet and recruit guys for that match their preferences on a very high level. We ask very detailed, specific questions of everything from, do you want to get married, to do you want to have kids? What's your personality type? Do you want somebody that's outgoing? Do you want somebody that, is reserved? Do you want somebody that stays in or goes out? Like, we just ask every single question you can think of to really get in depth. And then as gay men, we got to know what they like in the bedroom. Like,
Yeah, of course. And
we
it sounds
can't
like it's
just-
much more than just social connections then, because I'm thinking just in my mind, let's put together some events. People come in, they connect with each other, go on dates. We did our job, but it sounds like it's much more involved. It is an interview process. Can people choose what level they want to get involved in?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the gay base, which is free, and you can stay in there, you can hang out, and we can invite you to all the mixers, the events. And then we have our clients. They spend the time and the energy with us to do the photo shoot. We create a profile with them. We take them out to dinner. Gays like to get to know each other over cocktails. So like
Yeah,
that's what
for
we do. We
sure.
hang out. I get to know them, get to know their vibe, and get to know what they're about, because a lot of matchmakers, they're just like getting to know people over Zoom, which is great. Like, you can still get to know somebody. Sorry, did I go off topic?
No, I don't feel like I know you, Daniel. When we're on Zoom, you don't get the full effect. You get the full
Right.
effect when you're in person. So I totally get that. And I think
Right.
that where we're going in with this is it's kind of like how Best Man Matchmaking sets itself apart and offering these in-person events, the direct connection dinners and things like that as well. Is Best Man suited for a certain clientele? Is it open to everyone? In the gay world, of course, there's body types, there's all those types of things. How do you
Great.
go through all of that?
We are open to anyone and everyone as far as shapes, sizes, body types, age. We have guys that are literally as young as 21, and our oldest client is 82. He just turned 82. And we have him matched. I matched him with someone in Palm Springs, and like, his partner died. When me and Anthony heard that he was going on multiple dates with this guy, and he was traveling back out here to Palm Springs because he lives in Arizona, and they're traveling back and forth to meet each other and hang out at each other's houses, I had tears in my eyes.
Yeah,
When we first got him, I was like, okay, I know this is not going to be easy. Age range, we have a lot of guys that are 40 to 60. Or like mid 60s or something like that, and we can handle that very well. But when it gets over 80, you're gonna match with a specific type of person.
what does success look like for you guys? What is
Yeah.
success? As
Oh,
far as a match, success is different. Sometimes it's just connection. Sometimes it's actually like real deep connection. What do you guys look at success as?
yeah, so this is an interesting question. The type of guys that we take on as clients, we do vet out a lot of things and make sure that they're qualified, because we want to make sure that the guys that come to us are, one, they're serious about finding a relationship.
Well, that's a good
I'm
point.
not
There's a
gonna
lot of people that are not interested at all about
exactly,
being in a relationship.
or they just don't know. They don't know if they really want to be in one, and they're just playing around, beating around the bush. And yeah, we've taken on clients that just want to jump back into dating, but we let them know, okay, that's what this is. Our normal service is we are matchmakers to help you find that long-term partner. And also, our guys are successful in their own right. It's not dependent on money, but it's dependent on have they built success within themselves as far as like emotionally? Have they done therapy? Have they done some of the emotional work? Are they actually ready to jump in? If we introduce them to their partner tomorrow, because sometimes we will literally on the first match introduce them to that match that they're with long term. Are
Wow,
they ready for that? You
yeah,
know,
that's a big part. Do you have any other client success stories that you'd like to share before we jump into the what's and whys of going on a big trip together?
first I wanted to continue talking really quick about what our success is because it's very specific. People think, oh, you must have a 90% or 80% or 70% or whatever it is. And we haven't really been able to track every single thing. It's really hard to go through hundreds of people over the years and figure out like exactly a number. But our number is really high. It's somewhere in the 90 percentile range of guys that are happy with what we're doing.
Yeah,
If
that's
we've
awesome.
interviewed,
That's a really good the success rating.
yeah,
It doesn't mean that you've got wedding bells every weekend because that's not always the point. But that's awesome to hear. And you
yeah,
have lots of events the social mixers. I've seen pool parties on your
mm-hmm.
Instagram, and I
Oh
see a
yeah,
lot of like introspection kind of thoughts and things like that you
yeah.
do as well.
Yeah, it's all based off of how happy people are with the experience. You just never know where you're going to meet somebody.
Have you had any events where
Oh,
you do pool
yes.
parties, you do some of these
Oh,
dinners and things
yes.
like that? Do you see specific connections that happen at those events as well?
Yeah. So the guy that hosts our singles mixer at his house, a lot of times he's hosted a few. And I actually said, you should meet this guy. He's coming to the event and I want you to meet him. And they hit it off and they've been hanging out for months now. And it wasn't like a specific go through the process of working with us and making it all official and setting up the date and all that stuff. It was just they met each other at the mixer. So that kind of stuff happens when you're interacting with other single men, like in a fun event. We try to really make it like light and fun and play games, and we do games, we do some connection exercises, we have drag performances, and we try to make it light and fun so people can just hang out and have a good time and talk to each other, and we'll help people talk to each other, and we do raffles. So it's really fun.
Because
Yeah.
I think that's important. I've been to many pool parties where everybody's standing around. You're with the same three people the whole pool party. Once in a while, you might peel off and go say hi to someone, but it's hard to do that. If you have someone like you or somebody that's like gets people to move around and gets people to do an activity, you have a lot more opportunity to meet other people. As we started planning this event, I know that you want to have those moments when we're in Thailand to be able to do
Absolutely.
those as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really important for everyone to have moments with each other, even if it is a friendship or a business connection and not necessarily a love or romantic connection. One thing I've really been talking about a lot is gay men are so picky. It makes me angry sometimes because it's like with looks though.
We all
And
have our type, we call it,
I
right?
get it. Have your type. Like, okay, but I'm a matchmaker and I understand that people sometimes are only going to have a 50% attraction, but if everything is aligning on paper and their connection is at 100%, like that 50% isn't going to matter anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are basing everything because everything has gone to the apps. That's what people come to me for. They're like, I can't do the apps anymore. I'm on there for
They're
hours
just sick of
every
it.
day. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it anymore. I've had people go through the process of they go on Tinder and you reach a max. You reach a maximum amount of people that you can reach within the LA area. And once you max out, you're done.
When you think that's the only people that are even out there, but there's so many people that aren't even on the app. So
Yeah, there's so many people that aren't because they just can't do it or they don't want to do it. I have people, good looking guys, come to me all the time and they're like, I'm not on the apps. And I'm like, wow. Are you actually going up to people? Some people actually do. Some people just don't even try.
yeah,
It's wild.
it's so exciting to see what you guys do. That's great with Anthony and you and jumping in with Anthony. And I know you have other matchmakers that are working with you even outside of California,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
really cool.
over the United States now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're representing clients all over the United States now, and we have recruiters all over the place, from Texas to New York to Tri-State to Miami, San Francisco.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
lot of fun.
exciting. And so anybody that's listening to this, if you're interested in connecting with Best Man Matchmaking or Daniel specifically, you can look into the description here in this podcast, and we'll put Best Man Matchmaking, we'll put Daniel's Instagram, and we'll put the website on there so you can check that out and contact them. If you're interested in going to the Thailand trip that we're going to talk about next, check out Best Man. What we do want to do is announce that this is going to be an exclusive trip for Best Man Matchmaking clients. Any client that's in the database or that comes to the events or is a client that's currently working with Daniel or any of the team members at this time. And you mind if we jump into that and
let's
kind of share
go.
it?
I
So we're
can't
going to
wait.
share some video and some stuff while we're talking. You may just see a bunch of pictures. 10 days, October 2nd through the 11th, 2025. So that's about 6 months away. We're going to be going to Thailand, and Daniel is going to be the host. It's a Best Man Matchmaking trip. It's brought to you by Pride Adventures. I have history of leading trips, of putting trips together, making sure they're all coordinated to make sure that all of your dollars and cents are going to the right places. It's a great partnership because Daniel has the excitement and doing and planning everything on the matchmaking side. And all he has to do is be that social host, and we take care of all the stuff on the back end. You'll be very taken care of on this trip. We're going to have trip lodging where you can share accommodations with somebody, or you could have your own private room for a little bit more. So we'll be able to do that. And our itinerary is going to include everything from, we'll start in Bangkok for a couple days, and then we're going to go out to the islands. So this is really more of an island trip. We are in Thailand, so you will fly into Bangkok. You'll be there for a couple days, go on a couple tours. Daniel's going to host singles mixers and experiences, we'll call them, and also some dinners during that time. But you're going to go on some tours, and then you're going to get on a plane, and you're going to fly down to some of the different islands in Southeast Asia. You're going to do island life and snorkeling, a lot of relaxation, stay in some beautiful hotels. Hopefully you like snorkeling because you're going to really get to know each other when you're doing that. And you're going to end up in Koh Samui is actually where they filmed White Lotus this season. If you watch all the beautiful coverage and views of Koh Samui, you're going to be right there and be able to go and do this huge experience, go on these amazing catamarans and things like that with the Best Man Matchmaking crew led by Daniel. So I just wanted to get that out real quick. Let's just talk about the trip between you and me. What made you say yes to doing a trip like this for Best Man Matchmaking? Because it's not what you normally do.
Yeah. Chris, I've watched your business grow and thrive, and I've heard so many great things about gay men being able to connect on these trips and make friends and have so much fun. And part of why I'm a matchmaker is I'm a love connector. I've always been a love connector, and I want people to find love. And it's not just love in the form of romance. Sometimes it's love in the form of a best friend that you'll have for life. It is so hard to meet good people. And part of why I do singles mixers is because I love people connecting and having community. And I've had so many people come up to me and say, wow, Daniel, I have never been to a mixer like this where it was so low pressure and everybody was single and everybody was gay and everybody was talking to each other. Not like you go to a bar and you're sitting there with your cocktail and you're with your three friends and everybody's texting and, nobody's talking to each other.
They're
No,
on Grindr.
exactly. They're like literally looking at Grindr to the person next. Should I talk to this person or find him right here? Wait, he's 1 foot away. I'll just talk to him right on it. It's like, no, dude, come on, say hi. And this is why I want to do this, because I believe that this experience, maybe you will find your partner there, which I think is 100% possible, but also because a lot of gay men in particular, a lot of guys that are successful in their own right, they love to travel.
Yes.
And they want to know other guys that travel. They really want to know who, if I'm going to have a partner, he better love traveling. I would say that over 75% of my clients love to travel.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to share a special experience. Even if you do these 2-3 times a year, it's something that you can share with that experience for those singles that really enjoy travel. The best way to get to know somebody when you first start dating is to go on a trip. traveling is stressful as well. It's super fun. You get new experiences. You have all those warm and fuzzies and those great things. But also, you might be like rushing to a flight. You might have some tour bus issues. You might have some other things. And it really shows true colors. And it's been really fun for me to get to know people 90% positive and then but it's also nice to see that 10% like real aspect of people as well when they are stressed and how they deal with that. So I think that's pretty cool too.
Having people in real life seeing what they're really like as they go through this experience. And
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing I was going to talk about too, is like making sure that people are in the database and that I know a little bit about them before we go on this trip, because it's going to help me understand who they are. And maybe if there is a possible connection within this group, it's going to help me go, oh, okay, I think these two are really going to connect. So I'm going to put a little, I may do it like secretively though, because I don't want to like push anything.
They
You know
may
what I
not
mean?
be roommates, but they may have some other connection.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I want to start the whole experience off with a little bit of speed connecting. So people really start connecting right away and really start getting to know each other on a deeper level.
I think the vibe that you're going to bring to this is so unique, and I think it's going to be really special. People that want to get involved, as soon as we launch this, by the time we get this podcast out, we'll have the link in the description. So when you go to the link to register for this trip, you will go to a questionnaire. Just fill out that information, your name, contact information, a little bit about whether you are a Best Man Matchmaking client or if you're interested in becoming one. And Daniel and his team will reach out to you and basically talk to you a little bit and make sure that you're fit for the trip. Everybody's invited, obviously, but just want to make sure that this trip is for those who are single, who are looking for connection. There's no expectation. If you're paired with someone, there's no expectation that you're actually going to like connect with that person, but you have the opportunity to. Am I saying that right, Daniel?
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as us vetting guys, we do it for matchmaking. We're doing it for this trip. A lot of guys are going to want to know, hey, I'm going on this trip. I'm single. Part of the experience is being single and meeting other high quality men, guys that are successful in their own right, that are, like,
Who
that
are
are going to bring
open
a good
to
energy.
relationships, because it would be
Yeah.
interesting if you went on a trip where they're single guys, but they're like, oh, I don't date. So I think that's
Yeah.
something that's very unique about this trip.
Yeah. And so that's what I want to create, is an experience where you're bringing people together that are all like-minded, where you're not excluding people because of a certain thing, but you're bringing people together that are all like-minded, or having
Like-minded
that,
and open-minded.
yes,
Yes,
like-minded,
absolutely. I think that those are
open-minded.
two really specific things that are very important for this recipe to work. Because once you have that all together, everybody will be in that vibe together, which will be really neat. Now, what would you say to somebody that's like watching this, or maybe they're a Best Man Matchmaking client and they're like, ooh, that's a lot, going for 10 days plus to Thailand with this group? If they're nervous, they don't know if they're going to be able to connect with somebody, what would you say to somebody that's nervous and not really sure?
I say jump in. Imagine what you want your experience to be like. Before I travel somewhere, I always picture, okay, what's the experience going to be like? Read it through. We're going to have some itinerary. We're going to have so many fun things to do. Just let go and let us guide you. We're going to have guides. We're going to have so many things to do that you're not going to have time to think about being nervous.
That's
You
right.
just
I
aren't.
agree with you.
Like, just let go. Like, nervousness, underneath all nervousness is excitement. And that's what it is.
I've ran several trips. They're not specifically singles trips. With Pride Adventures, we have sometimes people can be together. Sometimes people are not looking for a relationship, but they're single, and that's fine for our trips. This is going to be a little different. But what I can speak to is things like nervousness and things like that. We've had many people that come in that think I don't know how I'm going to connect with anybody, and then they're like the most gregarious person, and everybody loves them. And it's just people get together, get along so well on these trips when you have this like-minded nature, and you already have an expectation of what the vibe will be like. So that's pretty neat. A couple logistical things that I can mention of people that have questions. Definitely go on the Pride Adventures website and look at the trip. Fill out your information if you have interest. Daniel will reach out. We require a $500 deposit. After that $500 deposit, there are some payment plans available, or you could just pay everything in advance. The full trip does need to be paid at 90 days in advance, and then we'll get everything finalized from there. There will be so much that's already included. And then when we're on some of these islands and things, there's going to be lots of optional activity options. If you're someone that's really not a swimmer, doesn't really not into snorkeling, that's okay. You can go out on the boat if you want and hang out and have pina coladas while other people are snorkeling. It's never any issue. There's never any expectation that you'll do what maybe is in the itinerary. There's always options for you. There's also options for dinners. There's going to be some group dinners. There's also going to be opportunities where you can pair off and go to dinner with maybe a group of 4, a group of 2. We do recommend booking your spot ASAP. We do feel like this is going to fill up pretty quickly. Flights, you're going to want to get those going pretty quickly as well, so you can get the best deals to get over to Bangkok and back. But we'll get all the details for you. Pride Adventures, my team and myself is here to help you through all the logistics, all the booking pieces. He's going to be there for your questions that have to do with Best Man Matchmaking and some basic questions on the trip as well. Do you have anything else you want to mention just about the trip itself before I mention a little discount for those listening?
Ooh. Yes, I want to say I'm so excited. I know it's been done in the heterosexual community many times. In the gay community, the gay, bi, queer men community, as far as doing singles retreats, there are some, I've heard of some, but like I don't know if I've even heard of a matchmaker doing a gay singles retreat. It exists.
And this could be the first of many. If you have interest in coming, there's a lot more that can happen that's outside of Thailand. You and I sat down and we went through a lot of different ideas. So it's pretty exciting what could potentially happen. If you're watching this podcast, you got all the way through this. Hopefully you did. We are going to put a little launch discount on the page when you do register. You can put Best Man 100. That'll get you $100 off the trip. Look in the description. Follow Best Man Matchmaking. Follow Daniel. Follow Pride Adventures. And this was just a really fun podcast to do with you, Daniel. And I appreciate you coming on.
I am so stoked. I am so excited. And this is going to book up so quickly. As soon as I get this out to my thousands of guys, and we haven't even done the newsletter yet, it's going to get crazy. So I'm just really excited, you guys. And I just hope that you can jump in quickly, because I know that this is just going to go quick.
Thanks for tuning in to my chat with Daniel Cooley from Best Man Matchmaking. If you're interested in becoming a client or joining us in Thailand this October 2025, check out the links below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.